Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Tuesday, December the 4th. Today is National Sock Day, National Dice Day, National Cookie Day. I like cookies. And World Trick Shot Day. That makes more sense. Also, we got a quote for today. Every man's life is a fairy tale written by God's fingers. Hans Christian Andersen.
Aww.
I like that. That's a very cool quote. And let's go back up to this here again. It's Sock Day, Dice Day, and Cookie Day. What a random amount of things. None of those things are connected. Just very bizarre. Of those three, I'm going to wear socks. Probably not going to do anything with dice today, but certainly going to have a cookie. I mean, just because it's Tuesday. Also, it's a special Tuesday. We have Tuesdays with Charlie. Super excited to chat with Charlie. I got a fun question for him, and he always teaches us stuff. So that's all on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix.org.
Time now for, is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Heidi, tell me this one. Reflections Bay, Henderson, Nevada. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center?
Golf course.
Reflections Bay is a golf course. Good job, Heidi. Golf clap for Heidi when she gets it right.
Yeah, you fooled me yesterday with one that was similar to that. So
I fool you a lot. So I fooled you into marrying me. I fool you a lot. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. Timeforrehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com. And this is your brain on drugs. A Florida motorist's blood alcohol content was more than 8 times the legal limit when he was arrested the other day. He careened across the road and hit 2 guardrails and nearly striked another vehicle. Or nearly struck. It says nearly striking. What would be the right... Nearly struck a vehicle?
I would say nearly struck.
Not nearly striked? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. 50-year-old Ricardo Portillo Gonzalez pulled over. It says here he was... issued multiple, they had people call in, so there were multiple on the lookout warnings because they saw this guy driving recklessly. Police noted he smelled of booze, had bloodshot, glassy eyes, and was unsteady on his feet. His breath test, Heidi, came back 0.66. The legal limit is 0.08. He was 8 times the legal limit.
Yikes.
Arrested for drunk driving and booked into the jail with misdemeanor charges. He's an El Salvador native who works for a lawn care company, released for early in the morning with a $500 bond. So, wowzers, that's crazy. I really struggled through that story. You didn't notice because you were texting someone.
I noticed.
All right, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Kim Kardashian donated $25,000 of her personal cash to her personal photographer. I guess he was suffered seriously in a car crash.
Oh,
so
well, that's nice of her.
Yeah, it was very nice of her. She's done a lot of nice things for photographers, from the sounds of it.
Why?
We'll move on.
Why? What has she done?
She does all the nude photo stuff and all that. I'm just being silly.
I thought you meant she, you know.
No, I'm just being silly. Actress, an aspiring, this, again, if there are children present, please just cover their ears.
You're the one who started that.
An aspiring actress claims that former CBS president Les Moonves forced her to perform, we're going to skip that next part,
right?
On him in 1995.
How do you force someone to do that exactly? There's just no way.
Don't know. The allegation could cause Moonves to lose his $120 million severance package.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't believe that for a second.
Well,
there's no way you could force. I would just bite.
Okay, but here's the thing.
How do you force someone to do something like that?
The way that he forced is going, hey, you want a job? Here's how you get a job.
Okay, well, she clearly wanted a job, so
no,
tit for tat. She got something, he got something.
No, you don't do that. It's a bad deal.
It's not forcing.
Yeah,
if
that
he
is true.
asked her to do it and she said yes, it's not forcing. It's a consensual decision.
I don't think so. We'll move on. Thanks for listening. Wow. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. One day after announcing the word of the year from Dictionary.com, what was it again, Heidi? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Misinformation. How do you not remember that?
Oh, yeah.
In this world of fake news, you don't remember that
I do remember it now.
Was the word of the year from Dictionary.com. Now they announced the runner-up. You know what it was?
What?
Self-made.
Oh.
That's two words, really, but there's a hyphen holding them together.
Wasn't that
Self-made.
already a word?
It's a word. These are not new words. These are the word of the year.
Oh.
Like the words that were used the most in a year.
Okay.
So the first one was, where was it? Oh, yeah, misinformation. I forgot. And the second
I would think
one was
fake news would have topped that.
self-made. No, misinformation was more quoted this year than fake news. Fake news is so 2017, Heidi. Come on. Arby's is now selling beer can chicken made with Miller High Life. What is going on at Arby's? They were selling duck.
They're trying all sorts of
venison,
random new things.
And they've just had. Are there like
they should probably
stoners in
stick
charge
to
there?
what they do best.
Working on like, hey, I got this idea. Let's do this. Says they look really good, by the way, but they say they're not so great for your health. Apparently, I don't know why. But I've got a link to the story if you want to read it. A study from the United Kingdom found that Siberian unicorns roamed the earth with humans 35,000 years ago. Okay.
Siberian unicorn. You know what? I think I saw a picture of it, and they were really, really ugly.
Well, here's the thing.
It wasn't it wasn't like a white, beautiful unicorn.
Did they have a skeleton?
It was
of one
like
of
a
these?
rhinoceros with a horn.
Why do they think that? This is just a study that they're saying all of a sudden, hey, this is what I think.
I don't know.
I'm not really sure how that works.
They must have found something.
I don't know what they found. It's a study from the UK. I do have a link in the show notes. If you really care, you can click there if you'd like. A study by Viber. I don't know even what that is, but they say 1/3 of people consider texting to be a daily form of stress. You know what? I do get a little stressed out. Here's when I get stressed out. When I'm driving and my phone vibrates and I know there's a text and I'm like, I'm not going to check that right now. You know who did that to me just yesterday? You. I was driving home. I told you, hey, I'm on my way home. And then it was like, I don't know, a minute later, my phone vibrates.
Do you have it paired to the car? Because you
No.
can push a button and it'll play it.
I don't know how to do all that. So it vibrates, and then I get to the house, and I pull the thing out thinking, okay, what is it? And I'm like, Heidi, are you almost home? What? I just told you I'm on my way.
Well, it was, if you look at when you sent me the message that said you were on your way, it was like an hour prior to that.
No, we talked after that.
Okay,
Let's get this
I'm on my way home.
Let's get this domestic dispute under control here.
Where were you, Siberia?
I was petting the unicorn. A Florida woman was arrested for passing gas at a Dollar General. Now, that's not illegal. But there was another customer who said something about it, and she pulled a knife on her. What? Dollar General. This is like the third Dollar General story. They're starting to get right up there with the people of Walmart, the weird things that happen at Walmart. So I'm going to read this again.
For the record, I was not at Dollar General.
This was in Florida. So a Florida woman was arrested after she passed gas at a Dollar General store and then pulled a knife on a customer who got offended. You think you were offended by that? Say hello to my little friend. An Arizona couple caused $8 million in damage to a state park after the groom shot an arrow during their gender reveal, and it hit a little explosive device and exploded. $8 million worth of fire damage. That is just crazy. The gender reveal thing has kind of gotten off the rails, by the way. When we were, expecting, we didn't do a big gender reveal. That wasn't a big thing back then, but apparently it's a big thing. Everybody's trying to come up with more and more, creative
it's
ways.
ridiculous. We told everybody what we were having, but we didn't do a big fancy.
But we didn't explode a forest fire.
But
or
that
anything.
wasn't a thing then either.
No,
We
thank
probably,
goodness.
we maybe would have.
No, we wouldn't have. I just know me. We wouldn't have. It's a girl. Thank you. Did I ruin the surprise? So sorry. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Are you trying to find the perfect gift for someone with a good sense of humor? FunkyMonkeyShirts.com has a good selection of funny t-shirts and more. Some with Christmas themes. One that even replaces the ugly Christmas sweater for your next party. Find some silly shirts at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Also, learn how you can sell your own designs to make some extra Christmas cash. There's a link at the bottom of the page at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little thing we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
It's Tuesdays with Charlie on the John and Heidi Show.
How you doing, Charlie?
Well, it must be Tuesday.
It definitely is, and it's always fun to visit with you on Tuesday. What kind of cool stuff we can learn about today?
Hey, did you know for 4,000 years after they started making cheese, ancient Europeans were lactose intolerant?
No kidding.
So they made all that cheese for 4,000 years and then found out they couldn't eat it.
That's kind of crazy.
So did they just slowly build up a tolerance to it then?
I don't know.
They must have.
See, that's what you have to do. If you really like something, you keep eating it, even if it makes you sick. Just like you with prime rib, John.
I do that all the time. I eat it and I get sick. And she's like, you're going to get sick. I'm like, it's going to be worth it.
But it's worth it, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
More people commit suicide in New York City than are murdered.
No kidding. That's too bad. That is very, very sad. It's very sad that there are people getting murdered, too, but it's very, very sad that they're taking their own life. That's not good. Don't do that.
Also, it's not illegal to go topless in New York.
It's not?
No.
You might want to double check that one.
I double-checked it.
Welcome to New York. Getting arrested. But Charlie said it wasn't illegal. Charlie who? What is he
You don't have
know?
to check nothing when I speak. Hey, then did you know every year 4 million cats are eaten in China as a delicacy?
No kidding. I did not.
I've always heard the rumor that they eat them, but
I didn't know that.
Now, I don't want all you cat lovers to call me, but the only good cat is a dead cat.
I actually like cats, so I'm going to stand up for the
I
cats.
do not.
I know, because it doesn't shock me that you were raised in the same home as this man that we talked to here. She's allergic to cats, so I try to give her a little benefit of the doubt there.
Don't be banned and listen to the radio station or anything. It's just my opinion.
We are all entitled to our opinion.
The views expressed on Tuesdays with Charlie do not necessarily represent staff management or anyone else's views here.
Hey, then studies have shown that people usually do take longer to leave a parking spot when someone's waiting for it.
Oh, I do.
I noticed
I'll
that.
sit there forever just to make them mad.
Yesterday, there were two cars, myself and another car. So there's a car in front of me, so I couldn't just drive away. And there were two parking spaces, somebody leaving one, and there was one wide open next to it. It took 3 minutes at least.
No, I will refuse to back out if somebody is sitting behind me and waiting. I'll be like, one of us is going to die unless you move.
So, and I'm the one that's going to sit there. I refuse to drive away. So, be two skeletons in cars.
Hey, then you know the average fertile man, that's like me,
Okay.
makes about 1,500 new sperm every time his heart beats.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a lot.
That's insane.
Yes, it is.
I can't even wrap my head around that. That is insane.
There's a joke involved in what you just said, I'm sure. So.
If he was Howard Stern, I could have come up with something for that. That's all right.
I could come up with plenty, but I'm trying to be nice to our audience. So, hey, are you ready for a question, Charlie?
I've got the answer.
All right. I'll give you the question first, then we'll see if you can get an answer.
Well, it'd help if before we went on the air, you'd give me the answer so I didn't sound like I knew something.
All right. The answer is false. Are you ready for that?
Okay.
Okay. True or false? Crest claims the Tooth Fairy as a registered trademark.
False.
False. You're correct. It is false. Colgate claims the Tooth Fairy as a registered trademark. So there you go. Charlie got one right. Just a little bit of help.
Hey.
That's
but-
awesome, Dad. Good for you.
We'll be sending T-shirts to all our members there somewhere.
And this is another little fun fact, just in case you want to know it. If you put a raisin in a glass of champagne, it will keep floating to the top and sinking to the bottom. It'll go up and down with a raisin. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's because I told you that a long time ago.
And I think the reason is because the bubbles attach to the raisin and it lifts it to the top. Then they get up there and all the bubbles come off and then it sinks back down and then more bubbles attach to it and it lifts it back up. So that's why that happens.
But if you drink it fast enough, you'll never know that.
Very true. You know, I'm going to have to get some champagne now and try that. Yeah, we got New Year's Eve
You're
coming
not going
up.
to put raisins in champagne. That's
just
just
to
nasty.
see if it works.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever.
Why don't you put a golf ball in there and see what it does?
No, thanks. I'm not going to mess with that. All right. Thanks, Charlie. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can with a little show we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A town in the United States had a 3-year-old mayor. Yeah, the mayor was 3. A small town of Dorset, Minnesota. The new mayor is picked every 2 years by drawing names out of a hat. A 3-year-old named Robert Tufts was elected mayor that way in 2015. His governing style? Be nice and no poopy talk. In 2018, I think we can all agree, the world could use more Robert Tufts in higher office.
So who made the important decisions then? I mean, how does that work exactly?
Probably his mom and dad. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll have to see if we can get a hold of that mayor.
Do an interview.
Thanks for listening to this fun fact on the John and Heidi Show.
FreshPatch.com is making dogs like me happy. They send out real grass pads for us to use indoors. Now when it's cold outside, I can go inside. And when I've used up the real grass patch, the mailman brings me a new Fresh Patch. It's the best idea since doggy treats. Convince your mommy to try it today. I suggest you try Puppy Dog Eyes. FreshPatch.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. Today's word is malapert. Malapert. M-A-L-A-P-E-R-T. Malapert. What do you think that means?
I have no idea.
Impudently bold in speech or manner. So like being saucy is malapert.
Okay.
It's also the name of a lunar crater near the southern limb of the moon. The southern limb of the moon? What does that mean?
I don't know.
What is the southern limb? The moon doesn't have limbs, does it?
I don't know.
I have to look at the moon more often, apparently.
I'm pretty
Malapert.
saucy, though.
Yes, you are. My beautiful bride, Heidi, is quite malapert.
I can be.
Malapert. Today's grandiloquent word.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix.org.
Now some weird news for you on this Tuesday. In a wanton act of domestic battery, a Florida woman pelted her mate with Chinese food as he was lying in bed. Police say they arrested the alleged attacker on a pair of misdemeanor counts. How old do you suppose this young lady would be?
I have no
Somebody
idea.
pelting Chinese food at her lover. Well, she's 65.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, not
That
what
is
I was expecting
way
either.
older than I was
Donna,
expecting.
not that that's old. So if you're 64 or 65, it's
But
not,
old enough to know
yeah,
better.
You don't throw Chinese food at people, do you? No, so don't be offended. She's 65. Donna Lee Gramley became irate after the man she lives with, quote, purchased food for neighbors, end quote. The couple share a residence at a mobile home park, and it says here, Gramley, she was just incensed. She threw Chinese food at the 64-year-old victim as he was lying in bed. Remnants could still be seen. After being read her rights, she reportedly admitted to throwing the food at the victim. She was arrested on domestic battery. She also hit with resisting charge for allegedly bracing and pulling away when they tried to bring her in. So there you go. Crazy. Bizarre story. Thanks for listening.
But I will say, if you're strapped for cash and you're
Yeah.
living in a trailer park because you're strapped for cash and you're out spending money on the neighbors'
But you know what? If the
food,
neighbors are in need and he was looking out for them, I think that's a
or maybe
wonderful
it
thing.
was a couple of hot girls that lived next door and he was wasting their food money.
Could be. I don't know. Let's
I'm
move
just
on.
saying, you got to look
Thanks.
at both sides here.
We're done. Thanks for you're way over time. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. A Pennsylvania mother drove 2 miles with her 12-year-old son on the hood of her car. What?
Whoa.
That is not normal. So this lady was arrested on a pair of endangerment charges. The criminal complaint says that Shawnice Jones and her son quarreled, and she drove the boy to a local dentist.
Oh, my gosh.
And she decided that, you know what? He climbed on top of the mom's automobile, so she said, okay, fine. The 36-year-old Jones
my gosh.
told her son, hold on, and they drove 2 miles to a police precinct. The speed limit on the road is 40 miles an hour. Upon arriving to the police department, she admitted to officers that she'd been driving with her son on the vehicle's hood. She went to the precinct in hopes the police would mediate a family dental dispute, but instead,
They arrested her.
she got in trouble for endangering the welfare of a child. That's a felony, and reckless endangerment, which is a misdemeanor. She was freed from custody after posting a $1,000 bail due in court December 4th. Wait,
I'm sure she wasn't going 40
today.
miles an hour.
So she's due in court today for a preliminary hearing. So it says she was driving. It doesn't say that she was going slow. So I don't know.
So she went 2 miles, but it didn't say she was going 40 miles.
Are you trying to say it's okay to drive with your kids
I'm
on the hood?
saying if the little brat won't get in the car and he needs to go to the dentist.
No. Heidi, you need a timeout. Don't listen to anything she says today. Very wily for some reason. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. This is a segment where we try to trick my beautiful bride by telling her a story that's either made up or it is a true story from the great state of Florida, but she has to decide. She has to determine. She has to figure it out. How
All
about
right,
this one?
let's do this.
Fake news or Florida? Hollywood sheriff caught with indecent exposure after driving pantsless to pick up his wife at a bar. Fake news or Florida?
I'm hoping it's fake news.
It is fake news. Good job, Heidi. Air high five there. Boop. A little too far to do a real high five. Yeah, fake news. That was made up. By the way, thank you to everybody who submits these fun stories. I can tell you right now, she never falls for mine. So mine are too dumb. I can't lie very well. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Good news on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva, the monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All of the details at radiosavings.com. Here's the headline. Dozens of people volunteer to entertain lonely shelter pets for the holidays.
Aww.
And it says maybe you could do it next year. What do you think of this? So, as my computer barely scrolls here, there are so many things on this page. I don't know why they have so much on here. Animal Shelter's Facebook page is proof that the holidays are not just for humans. Last 4 years, the Richmond Animal Care and Control have asked local Virginia residents to host unadopted shelter pets at their homes for Thanksgiving. Fostering animals is an invaluable resource for the rescue shelters. It gives the dogs a break from being in the shelter cages all day, and it gives foster parents and shelters a chance to learn about the pup's personality. We could actually maybe even encourage a family to say, you know what? We really like this one. We're going to keep this puppy dog. It says if shelters know whether a dog likes to play or be around children, they can let other people know that and help that pet be adopted. So I don't know if they do this everywhere, but this program is a neat idea.
It is a neat idea.
And I think it's kind of cool to be able to take a pet for a test drive like that, to say, hey, let's take
see how it fits in with your family.
And even if it doesn't work out for you to adopt that pet, you can certainly give them feedback and say, we're looking for a more active dog.
Right.
This one just was kind of laying there. Didn't really do anything. Somebody else is coming in saying, I don't want a rambunctious dog. They're like, oh, this one over here, you have to check to see if it's breathing. I mean, you just never know. I think this is such a cool thing. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. And if you're in charge of a shelter and you're saying, hey, that's a cool program, I'd like to do something like that, the link to this one, you can Google it too, I suppose. But there's a link in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. I think it's really cool. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.